Hi, I'm TS, and today we're going to talk about this car that I bought. I needed a vehicle, and I had a friend that was selling a car. She said she was only the second owner. It was pretty clean. In a lot of ways, it was exactly what I was looking for. It was from a friend, so I trusted her. The price was right. It was a smaller car, so that appealed to me. As I wanted to get away from those vans that I had been driving. It was a Dodge, 2011 Dodge Caliber, to be specific. And we like Chrysler products. They're just reliable and well made. And it was a hatchback, so I had plenty of room to put equipment for traveling around to gigs. And overall, it just seemed right. So I went ahead and bought it. And a few days later, I had taken it up to my mechanic, who is my best friend, Chad. And Chad is just a genius at working on things. The day I took it up for Chad to look at, we were driving it really hard because I just had some issues with the steering was real sloppy and it just wasn't handling right, and there was a few things that I had him look at, and we drove it hard around the park. And as you'll see from the video, on our way back to his house, we were coming down a hill, and as we come to the stop sign, we heard a ga-ga-ga-ga-ga-ga-ga, and it just stopped. And when we got out and looked, the wheel had fallen off. And to be fair, she had told me that her mechanics had told her that there was a piece, she said, there was a piece underneath that was a little rusted and it'll probably need to be replaced. And I was like, okay, we can deal with that. I can deal with some repairs. It's a 10-year-old car. I expect that. Later on, I found out that the Dodge Caliber was sort of a dud of a car that was born out of merging of two dud cars. One being the Dodge Neon as a small compact car, and the other being the PT Cruiser, which was more of the SUV type. SUV I use loosely. And it is pretty much the same as a lot of their vehicles, but I guess a lot of people have had this trouble with crossmember underneath the subframe getting rusted out. And I did this research afterwards. A lot of people have had this problem with these. So I would have looked at that a little closer in hindsight. But I want to make clear that I'm not angry at him for not noticing that or for her for selling me a dud car. I love the car, to be clear. So Chad is my longest running best friend, and he's also a designer, an engineer, and a mechanic. And I took the vehicle up to him to look at. We were test driving it. I drove it, and then he drove it, and we just drove it real hard because we were actually investigating a couple of other issues that we had and trying to figure out some other problems for him to fix. But luckily, we were discussing getting it up on the highway to see what it was going to be like. If it would have fallen apart on the highway, we would have been in trouble. We probably would have rolled it. That wheel would have rolled up underneath of the car, and we would have been in trouble. So luckily that didn't happen. So we got it. I got the tow truck, got the car back to Chad's house for him to work on, put it up in the driveway. He strapped the whole thing back together so the wheel would stay on the car. And I'll show you a picture of that. So we could roll it back and forth and we could get it in and out of the garage. It wouldn't steer, but it would roll. With some deliberation and research, we decided that it would be kind of an intensive job, yet not impossible. So I told him, go for it, give it a shot. Which is easy for me to say because I'm not doing the work, I'm just writing the checks. But the first video shows us investigating how bad it actually was. Then he spent a few hours getting it out. And the last shot is a scene of the crime. I've tried to get a picture of what the problem was underneath, which isn't really clear, but when I come out, you can see that the wheels are splayed out. Without further ado, here's the first footage that I shot for that.
I mean, it's literally the whole entire fucking frame and everything is nothing. Look how loose it is.
It's only holding on by that one strap.
And the half shaft is completely out now. So I can't even see where it's at. You know what I'm saying? The half shaft here. Alright, so you'll see how bad the subframe is when we move this back and forth. Okay, go for it. Wow. Crazy. How bad it's rotten. Wow.
It's just pulling the whole thing apart.
Yeah, you can see the rust and everything moving. Oh shit. Okay.
It just rotted from the inside out because that's how
it's supposed to look like that. It's supposed to look like this one, but even more solid.
Hold on.
But that one's gone.
Hold on.
So here's a good comparison. That whole arm section right here is gone, rusted out here. You see, it's all that's a hole right there.
Yeah.
That whole section here is. You can see the circle here that goes to this tube. You can see it's all twisted sideways where the A arm. Here's the A arm. This section here is just broke right here, all the way across here. Rusted. This would be all gone. If this was your, you know, this whole section is gone. You can see it rusted completely through over here. So, look at this crumbling. Jeez, that's wild.
Yeah.
Look at this. Let's get the frame, and you're talking. This was your rack mounts, and then you have this was your rear tranny mount here. Tranny mount, rack and pinion mount, sway beat link, and then this was completely
there was connected to this. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, this holds your whole wheel of suspension. Hold that light up. So this is what was just hanging on. That side was getting ready to go too. Has to be the worst one yet, right?
Still not worse than some of those ones I saw in those videos.
So is it just the shit patched in around it like snow?
Must like that like that fill tube on that Mitsubishi. So now I got to see how this one don't move. You see what I mean? Don't move. This bounces.
Yeah.
That's what that one's supposed to do, not move all the way out.
Oh, but yeah.
It's supposed to flex up and down. This bolt was holding it on barely with all that mess. This side is going to go.
Oh shit. There you go.
Here's where
Come on now. Oh, there.
stabilizer bar, bolt busted, and over here also busted. No getting them out. It just snapped. You got hot and snapped.
But the new ones will be with the new thing, should be, right?
Yeah, should be. If not, I don't know. Get hardware bolts.
I got you.
Get everything up. You see. So then you don't have to take all them hoses and stuff, all that shit loose.
Yeah.
That's why all the professionals were dropping it like that. So then you don't want to take all your power rack and pinion and all that shit off. Why do all that? Just more work.
Yeah.